Alright, this discussion is a weird one to me because, honestly, from where I'm standing, if Pierre-Luc Dubois is so interested in becoming a Montreal Canadien and they're interested in having him, I don't see why they wouldn't just wait it out and get the guy for free. But yet another NHL executive have mentioned that if the Habs want Doc, this is a quote, by the way, the quote is, if the Habs want Dubois now, that might mean Doc. And this is from MontrealHockeyNow.com. It's not from one of the trade rumor sites that, honestly, they kind of just say anything and everything. Montreal Hockey Now is pretty reputable. So the smoke is starting to pick up here. There's more people saying, this is like the third time I've heard about this. Let's read the article and say what they say about this, because this is so interesting, with Kirby Dach not having played a single game for the Montreal Canadiens yet. And we know that there's mutual interest between Dubois and the Habs. So we'll see what happens here, but let's read the article. A week after Winnipeg Jets center Pierre-Luc Dubois did his best to calm the NHL trade rumors that he wants to be traded to the Montreal Canadiens, they don't seem to be simmering down at all. This past Friday on the 32 Thoughts podcast, co-host and Sportsnet NHL insider painted the potential of Dubois getting moved to the Canadiens on the NHL trade market or on the free agent market in 2 years as almost inevitable. Which is crazy to me. Okay, here's what Friedman said. Elliot Friedman, we know he's the most reputable, reliable source in the NHL. I think he told them 2 years, then I'm going to test the market, said Friedman regarding what he's heard about the ongoing Dubois story in Winnipeg. I'm with a lot of other people who said Montreal. I think that's the most likely destination, but like I tell people, a lot can happen in 2 years, but we have to get from here to there. And this next part is where I mentioned that Montreal Hockey Now is pretty reputable, reliable, and they're in touch, okay? They've got their finger on the pulse here. In a phone call with Montreal Hockey Now on Tuesday, an NHL executive source was asked what type of contract the Canadiens and RFA center Kirby Dach might agree on. It was also suggested there would be a 2-year contract, so a bridge deal. Not simply because of comparables like the 2-year, $2.1 million AAV contract that the Rangers forward Kaapo Kakko signed, who was drafted second overall at the 2019 NHL draft, just one pick ahead of Dach, but also because, as Friedman pointed out, PLD is on record saying that he intends to test the unrestricted free agent market in 2 years. The thinking being that if Dach didn't reach his potential under 2 seasons playing for Canadiens head coach Martin St. Louis, then the Canadiens can free up space to sign Dubois if he's not already a Canadian by then. And then they have in quotes, what if Dach isn't a Canadian by then, the source asked. What if he gets Dubois to Montreal? If the Habs want Dubois now, that might mean Dach. Back on July 15th, The Athletic actually suggested that Kirby Dach could be an NHL trade piece going back in a Dubois to the Canadiens trade as well. Until Tuesday, though, multiple inquiries by Montreal Hockey Now to NHL sources had not indicated that Dach had become a key piece of any NHL trade return the Jets would want for Dubois. So does that suggestion above from an NHL exec, who by the way has spoken to both Canadiens and Jets sources since July 15, mean things changed? Man, is this hot off the press and juicy. Could you imagine? I mean, I don't really see it because that would just be a hallmark of impatience. I mean, I guess you could be a little bit worried if the Montreal Canadiens that in 2 years, maybe Dubois sees the LA Kings or something and says, ooh, maybe I want to go there instead. So maybe you want to lock him up before he gets tempted by other franchises or changes his mind in these 2 years. But, I mean, is that worry, that concern, really worth losing an asset that you just paid a pretty price for? Kirby Dach was not free. To basically switch Romanov to Kirby Dach, that's a pretty hefty price to pay. Are you sure you want to flip him for Dubois? I mean, Habs fans, let me put it to you this way. If I told you a month ago, hey, would you trade Alexander Romanov for Pierre-Luc Dubois 1-for-1? What would you say? I would say yes. But honestly, it's weird. It's up in the air. It's something to think about. And it's something that really everybody would have to put some thought into here. But to me, for Pierre-Luc Dubois, I mean, if you want to go to Montreal, don't you want to go now? I mean, if you're coming out and saying this publicly through your agent, I mean, I know he came out last week and he tried to save face and be like, oh yeah, no, I never asked for a trade, whatever. Okay, the truth is, it's out there, and for it to be out there, when there's smoke, there's fire, especially if Elliot Friedman's saying it. He wants Montreal. So is he going to push for it? What are the Habs going to do? Are they going to be a bit impatient and try to get him as soon as possible? Or should they just wait 2 years and get him for free? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Would you do it? Would you do DACH for Pierre-Luc Dubois? Let me know. Comments down below. I'll see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.